There we are. Welcome along. It is Monday night and it's showtime. Yes, we've been alternating it, haven't we? Sunday, Monday. We're back on Mondays. Long story, but we're back on Monday nights. I think Monday nights is kind of where it started. Anyway, I said I weren't going to go there. We've gone there. Lovely to have you all along. Really, really good to welcome you back to the Hair Show. And if you're new to the show, this is where we talk about the big topics, the funny topics, things that are happening in the hair industry. And well, we want you to be part of the conversation. It's your voice, as you know, that makes the show for everyday hairdressers just like you. So to join in, it's simple. Just simply post a comment and who knows, we may just feature it on the screen. Can't beat flagging up the names because I'm already seeing your names coming in. You probably know the whole setup to this now. Yeah, 20-second delay. But I see you coming in. We'll be bringing in your comments. But look, just want to give you that heads up that first, if you're watching this in the How to Cut It Facebook group, you'll need to grant Ecamm permission for me to see your name and profile picture. I appreciate you may all see who's talking here. Here's an example of... what's it? I've got one of those topics up, but we'll come to that in a minute. Let me just turn that off there. Get rid of that. Yeah, so this is somebody who's watching in the Facebook group. And so you just need to grant Ecamm permission. I think Colette or Dave will be putting in the link for you to do that. It takes seconds to do if you're watching it. If you're watching it on my profile in Facebook, no problem. We see your face and names. It's purely that the Facebook group is private, which means we can't flag up your names or profile pictures because it's in private. That's why we just have to get your permission on doing that. So yeah, click on the link. Hopefully it'll be in there in a minute, and yeah, be good to see you. So who is joining us? Let's have a quick look. First in with a comment tonight goes to Angela Thompson. Nice to see you, Angela. Great to have you along. Colette's here, host of the show as well now, Colette. What's that? Salon Owners United have joined. Welcome along, Salon Owners. Always good to welcome you in. Our platformer, Paul Davis. Paul, always brilliant to have you along. Love Paul and what he brings to the industry. Great, has so many great things to do. He brought a great sofa session to platform, which was brilliant. Hello, Facebook user. Evening, everybody. Hopefully, shortly, I'll know who you all are. So, we got Jax again, another platformer. Nice to see you along, Jax. Really good to have you here. Paul, nice to see you along too. Rachel, how you doing, Rachel? Got a sofa session. No, I think we've got a platform session coming from you very soon. We have Emma. How you doing, Emma? Nice to see you along. Looking forward to your sofa session. We've got Ray Palmer. We love Ray. Doing a great job. Really enjoy seeing what you're doing. Just there. I think, Colette, you've put in a Facebook one. What you need, Colette, there may be the Ecamm link. I think I put it in our WhatsApp group. So that'd be the one that you need to share on there. So yeah, that's the thing. Where you're joining us from, let us know. What are you going to be wanting to discuss tonight? Well, we are going to be going into some big topics, some fun topics. Let's see how it all goes. So what have we got on the list? Well, you probably saw, hang on, before I say that, I think we just got that link. There you go. If you're watching in the How to Cut It Facebook group, click that Ecamm link, all right? Takes all of 2 seconds and then we'll know who you are and then we can bring your face up on the screen just like we did with George just there. So here we go. So the topics for tonight, you did see this one a minute ago. There, so to tip or not to tip, all right? We're going to be looking into the idea of maybe a 10% service charge in hair salons, all right? Just automatically added on. Could this work? We get it in restaurants. Is that right or is it wrong? I mean, yeah, I think we'll have some things to say on that one for sure. Then we're going to be talking about our lunch break, taking an hour break. But more sort of built into this is the well-being of stylists. And, you know, some years ago, 5-10 years ago, the concept of lunch breaks for hairdressers, my goodness, almost non-existent. Well, have times changed? So we're in a better place. Is HR in your salon? Are you looking after your team in a way that stylists need to be looked after? Let's have a little chat on that one. And then Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, we are going to be... hang on, I pressed all the buttons. Honestly, I said it's going to be that kind of night tonight. Let's get that one there. Small talk versus quiet service. Hairdressers, we love conversations. Do clients like conversations? Is there a place for clients who maybe want to not talk? Are we talking small talk, happy holidays, going out tonight? Should we be more professional? Should we be talking around our services more? Retail? Should all these things really happen? Does conversation put clients off coming into the salon? Does maybe the talking part of the job put you off? Does it drain you? Well, that's something to chat about. And then this one, yes, we've done this 2 weeks ago, the last topic. We want you to bring your topic. And myself and the hosts are going to be coming onto your screen shortly, George and Norman. We're all going to pick our favourite topic for us to discuss tonight. All right, so you're going to have to come up with that topic. All right, so they're sat there in the green room. I'm hoping their Wi-Fi's are kind of behaving. They are a bit twitchy tonight, and that's not them, that's the Wi-Fi. So let's bring them onto the screen. The gorgeous George and Norman is back. How you doing, the pair of you?
I'm scared because of the Wi-Fi. Oh God, live TV, folks. Hi, everyone.
I'm going to treat you two both to Ethernet cables, all right? For anybody who does live streaming, have you got one in, George? So is your Ethernet going from... Does it really? So do you turn off your Wi-Fi?
Ask Dave. I don't know.
So everybody that's watching, I'm just going to tell you something. Ethernet, right? It goes from your modem into your computer, turns Wi-Fi off, it gives you a stable connection. That's the answer for live streaming. But there you go. That's another story. So at Christmas, I will treat you to, certainly you, Norman, as well. And I'll wrap it up nicely. Norman,
You're so
lovely
kind.
to have you back. Where have you been hanging out? What's been going on?
I am so excited to be back. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing really well. I have had the best day today. I done an Afro course, which was hosted at Not Another Salon, and it was with a guy called Erica. And oh my God, I thought I was going to forget then. Erica and Matt. And I had the best day, and I feel like I downloaded all the good energy. And I got back from a festival, and then I was teaching in America. So it's all been going on.
Oh, big go. Honestly, the Wi-Fi tonight is really, it's almost going into robotic. It is struggling. It is struggling. But hey, that's cool. It may just sort itself out. By the way, Erica, I think I said this to you into the WhatsApp. I know Erica so well, Norman. She is lovely, so talented.
Oh, yeah, we have to get her on here soon. We're going to talk about Afro hair, textured hair in the UK, and I think it's a really great conversation. And she is just a queen, so knowledgeable. The way she touches hair, it's like, you know, those people that can just make hair look good simply just by touching it. She's very gifted.
Yeah, absolutely. Norman, I think your Wi-Fi, we're going to see how that goes, but I think we might have to, because it's just really gone laggy.
It swings and roundabouts, you know, Dom. Like, it comes when it comes. Yeah.
Oh, I've lost my headphones.
We get it when we get it.
What is going on?
I told you we should have...
The Gremlins.
Listen,
George, how's things on your
we should have
front?
stuck to
I can't hear
something.
you, by the way.
Yeah. Right, well...
Are you there, George? Say nothing. Honestly, I have that feeling tonight. But look. Oh, dear.
I dressed up special.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know my favourite thing about the show is that I can just wear like jogging bottoms and just put a shirt on for this. It's the best.
I'm glad there's jogging bottoms anyway there. George has actually got a midriff as well. She's looking good. She's kind of got shorts going on midriff. Very nice. Do you like George's hat, by the way, everybody? We enjoy it. You know, she used to wear that hat some years ago. Let us know in the comments, all right? So, right, okay. We're going to get to that first topic.
Let's get into it.
Is remotely working, all right? So, what's Ray just put here? I think you're dead right, Ray. Love live TV and shows. Absolutely. What do they say? you can't plan these things. It's honestly, it's wonderful. Right, okay, we're going to go to the first topic. Let's go. Right, okay, George.
Would you like me to explain this if I can?
You certainly can. Go on, go to it.
Okay, so to tip or not to tip was my suggestion. I am so fed up. Look at my face. Oh my God. I am so fed up of going into restaurants and, sometimes being automatically charged a 10% service charge for basic bitch service. And I think at my appointments, when I'm with my clients, rightly so, I give my everything. I give my all, my emotions, my skill, my creativity. And I just wondered, how would it go down if we were to automatically bang a 10% service charge on our client's check? That's it.
Norman.
I think it's really interesting. I think it's I've never heard this perspective. I have to agree with you on the 10% charge in the restaurants when you do get basic bitch service. However, it has just become that thing now that is the norm, right? So I think if you were going to add a 10% service charge onto your own bills, I think people would find it pretty cheeky originally. However, it is the service industry, and it's the same kind of thing as a restaurant where you are giving someone a service. But do you include the service charge into the final bill? Like, is that included in your prices? Do you just need to raise your prices, or is this just a 10% like at the end? I don't know. What does everyone think? I'm an employee, so like a service charge,
I mean,
if it makes me more money, then I guess.
If I was to put a 10% service charge on a lot of my services, I'd probably be doing myself out of some real tips, because some people tip me a fair amount more than that. So actually, it swings and roundabouts. But say if somebody tips me 50 quid, and then I don't get any tips for the rest of the day, would it average out? Actually, if I banged on the 10% service charge to cover everybody, or should you just leave it at your own risk for the people that tip and the people that don't?
We have an option on our machine where you can add a percentage of like the total bill. You have the choice, like gratuity, if you want to. But I love the idea. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. What do you
Like a
think,
lead
Dom?
balloon, somebody said. Look, I'm going to put this right back in there. Absolutely not. I hate service charge. I think it's the worst thing ever. It incenses me when I get service charge. Just if it's good service.
It incenses me.
You should. It gives an excuse and a reason for just bad service, and you're still paying for it. It isn't. It's my choice if I want to tip somebody, and I think if we brought that into an industry, it would lower the standards even more, because ultimately we shouldn't be working for tips, should we? Is that because, or do we? Is a tip always at the back of our mind? How important is that to our income? Do you look at somebody and think, oh, they didn't tip me. I've just spent 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, like what you said, but
it isn't in the back of my mind, because I've worked out my prices from a salon owner perspective, but I do think tips make a great difference to employed staff. Yeah, staff, absolutely. I mean, I know when I was a waitress, I know it's a completely different job, but tips made a huge difference to our weekly pay slip. But I think actually tips do make a difference to employed staff. Yes, they do.
Do you actually share tips, or is it individual for tips?
No, I think when it's individual.
The individual. So to the
So
person.
our tips come in and they're added at the end of a service, and then the tip that goes to us, 10% of that goes to our reception and 10% of it goes to our assistants. And then that's like a collective.
Good. Yes, do you know what? Emma's just put an interesting one here. Sorry, I have to sort of large and small these because as a salon owner, I hardly ever get tips. My team make a lot of tips, and it's a bonus for them. George, I know when you had staff, I know at the moment you're sort of working more individually, but did you find that people wouldn't tip you as a salon owner because they already think you're minted?
Yeah, it's really weird. So yeah, actually, I I never got a lot of tips, and then I don't know what happened, but since like not the last Christmas that has just been, I don't know what's happened. People just people just started tipping me, and I've done really well. And then since going on my own, since being on my own, I get shitloads of tips. Like honestly, somebody paid more in a tip the other week than they did the fucking haircut.
Yep. Tony,
Crazy.
pound.
Oh, that's nice.
Sorry, but it is nice. It is nice.
I don't get offended if people cannot afford a tip, but appreciated every tip I get. Think I like to leave it to my clients if they want to or not. Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
couldn't
I
ever say
agree.
to a client, you're not, excuse me, you're going to leave me a tip. That's right. So if that client saw that in a 10% service charge on their bill, I think it'll be a good way to start losing clients, wouldn't it? Surely.
Yeah, I think I do actually, but this is what I'm saying. When that 10% service charge is added to a restaurant bill, it automatically infuriates me because surely I should be the one that decides whether I tip or not. And
The
also, I
tax
think
implications, we won't go too ahead, but there are tax implications. I know Paul's just asked Colette to sort of maybe ask on that. Ugh, don't we hate that word? So Jax has just put here, I've put my price up twice in a year. Less tips, but better money. As a freelancer, they think I get all the money. That's interesting as well, isn't it, Norman? I think people do tend to kind of think when you charge £250, £300, that every part of that is just profits. It's very hard for people to understand the whole business cost breakdown, and it's not up to a client to decide that, but that's probably why they maybe don't tip us sometimes, because they just think, oh well, they're earning enough money as it is.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, like,
And
it's Sorry, George, I'll let you go first.
no, go on, Norman. It's fine.
Well, if people are going to tip, then it's always appreciated. Personally, I've never heard of this idea of a 10% service charge for hairdressers. However, I don't dislike the idea. I don't love it either. I just think it's interesting. It's a new perspective. I think people who tip are greatly appreciated, but I actually never know my tippers because they always tip on card anyway. And personally, I don't work for tips because I know that my clients are spending a lot of money. But saying that, I do make averaging between 800 to, in very good cases, about a grand on tips, in card tips, but I do get taxed on them as well. But I'm not
Daft
complaining.
idea, straight onto turnover for tax and VAT. Well, that's right. It does kind of, certainly if you're a smaller one, so if you're putting in a 10% service charge, that's going to go straight on to your profits. I guess you have to declare all your tips, don't you? Rightly, as a salon owner?
Of
Yeah.
course you do.
Julie,
And the deadly silence.
Julie, I agree. When I had staff, my clients didn't tip me as they thought I had. Sorry, I'll just bring that up again. I had enough money being a salon owner. Yeah, for sure. I think stylists tend to get that, but that's good. Look, if it helps, build up the money, it's quite an attractive thing, isn't it? Tips as a stylist, Norman. That's quite a big part of the turnover for a stylist behind the chair.
Yeah, agreed. Like, it's probably about an extra
250 a week on a good
11,000 a
month.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Apologies. I know it's frustrating to pair you, but obviously it's so laggy. But I think it's settling down a bit. I think yours has, George. But bear with us, everybody. If it just could be a little bit laggy tonight, it must be the world of the Wi-Fi. Norman, I love the idea of the percentage of the tip to support staff. How can I implement that without peeing my stylist off? That's a good for thought. Yep. Yeah, how can I implement that without?
Yeah, okay. So we had this conversation with our assistants. I'm just going to ask this: can you hear me clearly, even though the screen is obviously taking its
Yes.
time?
We can hear you
Yes.
clearly.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
just really,
So
really laggy.
perfect. That's fine as long as you can hear me.
We can hear
So
you.
our assistants were saying probably about like 4 or 5 years ago that the tips weren't being shared. So then it became, well, it's not as if they weren't being shared by one particular person. It wasn't a thing. There was stylists that were sharing more of their tips than others. I when I was an assistant, this is irrelevant. This lady called Keisha, who I used to work with, she always gave me the fattest, chunkiest wads of cash at the end of the week. And I couldn't believe that someone could be that generous. And it's inspired me actually to be quite generous with our assistants when you do get cash tips. However, when the cash tips aren't as popular anymore in my experience, it's just all about the card tip now. Just to make it nice, fair and square, cool. Tip comes in, 10% to reception, 10% to assistants, and it's non-negotiable.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
just like
I
the way
agree.
that
Do you
it
know what?
works when you.
Listen, at the end of. Oh, sorry, Norman.
I was just going to say that when people join us, that's just our culture that we've created. So it's not as if you need to negotiate with someone like, oh, do you get all of the tip? Just don't be a cunt, innit? Like, give your assistant 10%. Yeah. Sorry,
Did I just
excuse
hear?
I'm
me.
gonna hang
Did I
you.
just hear that C
No,
bomb dropped?
Do you know
no,
what?
no, no.
That
It's the lagging. It's the
Do
lagging.
you
It's
know
the
well,
lagging.
blame
what?
it on the lag. That's a £20 fine for you, Norman.
Yeah.
100. Apologies if that word offended anybody watching
Sorry.
tonight. So
I would agree, though. I do believe
Yeah, sorry, guys. I
assistants
just.
are. I do believe that assistants are the backbone of the salon. So I do believe that actually, tips should
Yes.
be shared a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
tips are fantastic, but hate to see tip boxes in clients' faces. Should be a gesture, not a command. Also depends on what country you're in. America and England, like this. Massive tips, 1K a month. Places like New Zealand, next to nothing, apparently. Okay, here's a question for you all, and then we'll kind of move on to the next topic. It's a good one. It's got you all talking. Thank you, Colette, for sharing some great tips. Everybody just go back up. She's got some great advice. Colette's always great for any kind of that stuff that you need to know. Always there. Salon Owners United. Good for that. Tips are fantastic. Where are we? Yeah. Lisa, Norman, wash your mouth out. He's been in America.
Sorry, Chewy. Yeah, it's because I've been in the States. I love you, Lisa, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. It means a lot.
Cool. Here's a question for you all,
I'm
just
just
to
glad
finish
it's
off.
not me.
A 20-second delay. I appreciate. Can you all think about the biggest tip that you've ever received? All right. Maybe it was a holiday. Somebody could have. Maybe it was a huge amount of money. What is your biggest tip that you've ever got? All right, so I'm gonna while I let you all think of it, and 20-second delay, give us time to come in here. Let's ask you that, George, first. Can you remember your biggest tip that you've ever been given?
Yeah, but it wasn't when I was in hairdressing. It wasn't anything dodgy either. I got 600 quid from.
How
I
much?
got 600 quid. 600 quid from. I took a load of people to the Chelsea Flower Show, and I was a waitress. And at the end of the day, everyone chucked in loads of money, and I got 600 quid. And I'd been up all night partying.
No.
I'd not even been to bed, so I was like,
I,
need
I
more of
think I'm
that more
laughing more at
often.
the fact of just visualising you taking everybody to the Chelsea Flower Show, George.
Babe, I was on it. I was fucking on it like a dog on it, and
Yeah, you were on
I
it.
Love it. What about you, Norman? What's the biggest tip that you've ever got?
So, my biggest tip was £200 in cash from one of my favourite clients. And this was at Christmas time. And it was a one off and it never happened again. And I've still seen her since. And it was very, very, very appreciated.
There's also saying, when a client does leave you a tip, there's almost that awkward moment that you kind of, that they always tip you. There's that awkward moment that they're thinking, are they waiting for their tip or not? Does everybody else have that? Or is that just me? When,
I always say,
and
when
you're trying to
I
be,
always
I'm not
say,
waiting for your tip, but I know you do tip me.
I will always say if someone ever tips me, thank you so much. I'm going to give you extra nice hair next time for that. Like, it's just my little
Yeah.
cheesy line.
Dom, I want to know what was your biggest tip?
My biggest tip, do you know, I don't think I've had anything other than, yeah, I think to be honest, I'm struggling to get past maybe a Christmas tip, I think, which would be about 50 quid. I don't think it's been that much of a game changing moment or amount of money that I thought, wow. So I normally get booze brought in at Christmas, and the average tip, that's about as exciting as it gets. My life is just dull, really.
Me
When I think
too.
about it, I
I'll
just
tell
wish.
you. Go on.
Go on, no, carry on, no, carry on.
I'll tell you, so that was my biggest cash tip, but my nicest ever tip was I was once saying to a client from Manchester that I wanted to read Avicii's autobiography, or the book written about him because he died, and she sent it the next day in the post by Amazon, and I
Love
thought that
that.
was the nicest tip. That
I
is
think it's
nice.
those things that I actually value more. I have
That's
a client bought
lovely.
some lovely books, so really know that you're going to enjoy that, and actually
Yeah,
that means so
yeah.
much more than a huge amount of money. I know that sounds really cheesy, but in truth, Paul said, "Yeah, don't eat yellow snow." Yes, you always get when you feel
Thanks, Paul.
awkward. What's Paul got here? Paul, the biggest tip I've ever had was £15 from a gent after the first lockdown. Cool. What do you?
Nice.
Always a client buys me expensive perfume each and every year, and that's from Jax. Yeah, so awkward when you're waiting for that tip. A client paid for my salon sign to go above my door. Another client saved all their appointment money in lockdown and gave it to me when the salon reopened. Oh,
Oh,
Lauren.
that's
Oh,
lovely.
Wow,
That is
that
so
is
wow.
so
lovely.
kind.
Lovely. I get
Take it.
20s a lot. Facebook user. Again, Ecamm, if we could put another link in there, then we'll be able to see. I cut an 85-year-old man last week. He offered a £5 tip and gave it back to him. Oh, are they offended though if you give it back? Are they almost like no, or do they take it back?
Uh,
I don't know. That's always. Do you know when also people get their pound coins and they're very, they're almost, I haven't got a lot of change today. Anyway, it's a whole conversation. It's a good one. I've enjoyed it. Angie, my
I
client
I just
here.
have to shove
Angie.
this in there.
So Angie is my client. So what you put here, Angie, I think actually you've never tipped me, Angie, have you? I wish I could tip, and I would if I could, but I like to think our conversations, believe me, paying for fantastic services. I'd hate to go somewhere else for a cheaper rubbish cut and pay a tip. Sorry, Dom. Honestly would if I could, because I appreciate you and I appreciate you. We're coming on
Oh,
to Ange, you've got to stick around in a bit because we're going to be talking about salon conversations, all right? And she knows exactly where we're on that. See, I am a real hairdresser, people. Yeah, you all think I'm just this mic man. I do hair. Yes, I do. Right, we're moving on to the next topic. Enjoyed that. Thank you, George, for bringing that one up tonight. Really cool.
you're welcome.
Right, okay. This one is from Norman. Come on, Norm. Give it to us.
Yep, I'll take it away. Excuse the lagging, everyone. I'm just going to go for it and hope you'll see the performance. So, the well-being of stylists. Go and take an hour break. So, when I first started hairdressing, which was about 11 years ago, and I was working in fancy West End London salons, it just was almost like a joke about like lunch breaks. It just didn't happen. You know, you just worked really fucking hard. I don't know what's wrong with my language tonight. Excuse my French.
That's another
You
pound.
just
So
worked really,
we've now made
yeah,
£22 for Tony's pot.
yeah. Excuse me. So you just worked really hard and you made as much money as you could because we all know in hairdressing, the more hair you do, the more money that you make. Now, um, I think in about five, I suppose it comes from after lockdown, really. The well-being of the stylist was really projected into the hairdressing world, and it was more or less about the employer, is more about the employee and what can you do for me, you know. And actually what I would like to ask everyone in the comments is if they've ever had an experience like this. If you go to any other industry and like say that hairdressers don't get lunch breaks or you don't get a set amount of time to even just leave the building from longer than 10, 15 minutes at a time. They would say it's illegal, right? And that's not that it is a legal requirement. You have to have lunch breaks. Now, salons, some of them are more casually run. So would anyone even think of asking a HR in a team of 4 people? Do you know what I mean? So I want to know what everyone's perspective is on the lunch breaks. I know George is a bit of a lunch break advocate, aren't you, babe? Why don't you tell us what you think?
Yeah. Well, no. Listen. I talking from a perspective of now working on my own or being a salon owner, I am old school, yeah. So I can work like a demon and I would prefer to work through. I don't mind. I mean, I would push employees to have a lunch break. Personally, if I was to sit down for an hour and just chill out, time is money, baby, and I ain't having that. If I get a
Yeah,
chance to yam a sandwich while I'm in the back mixing up a bowl of bleach, then, I will do that. But I kind of just associate eating with sitting down and chilling, and I'd rather do that when I'm home. That's not to say I would ever make my assistants or my staff do
But
that.
if you were in a salon, George, you would want your lunch. It's a required law. I know, Colette, again, it is every 20 minutes of legal requirements is 20 minutes of working more than 6 hours. So absolutely.
Yeah,
Is there a
absolutely.
conversation in this? I mean, to me, I think if you work for yourself and you're a salon owner, some people just don't need you just eat on the go, and it's an old way of thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe like what you said, Norman. I think there's probably an older school mentality that it's okay, less time working, less time earning, and maybe there's people like that. And I think maybe there is a difference if you're working for yourself. An hour is a massive amount of lost revenue time, isn't it? In
even
If
terms of
30 minutes. But I just,
if someone's paying me, I would 100% want a lunch break. The difference is I'm paying myself, so I ain't gonna lose. I
cool.
base myself on
Well,
50 quid an hour, so I ain't gonna do that. But that's just my
let's
opinion.
ask let's ask the viewers if anyone has worked as an employee and the lunch break thing isn't a thing, because I would
okay.
actually be interested to know, because I've worked in 7 salons and it's all been a bit of a blasé topic. Lunch breaks, it just doesn't happen. Crack on, get your head down,
There's good
get some cash in the
conversation in
till.
this as well. I think there is something really good in this. So let me just go through some of the comments here, Norman, as you asked that question. Again, Colette, our guys have planned breaks and take plenty of breaks. Paul, you're taking over from Mustafa tonight with the big comments. I have to keep going down small. They're great, though. I have a break when I get the chance. Being self-employed, we don't just cut hair and beards like most clients think as barbers. We have plenty of other jobs to do, especially when working on our own. Yeah. Paul has put here, old school used to go without lunch. Yeah. Nowadays, I would insist that team members take their allocated breaks. What happens when you're running over, though, Norman? Or you got a client, you have to
You don't
miss
get
that break,
one.
don't you? Miss that lunch.
To be honest, I actually don't book out a lunch break for myself either. So the way that I work is one client at a time. So I will have someone in for a big 2 hour foil application, and then I will have their development, and then I will have their toner afterwards. That's most how my days look most of the time. So my breaks are when I decide. But do I have a good leisurely 20 minutes to go and walk around? No, but I have lots of gaps throughout the day where I can decide that I want to eat my lunch or not. But I don't
Is
really
so is
get
Sophia,
designate.
does she like you all to make sure that you're refreshed, recharged, lunch break it after? Is that something really
Totally, but we
important?
are single booked. We are single booked at the moment, so we are looking at one person at a time. So there are times, especially when you're working with color, like there's 35-minute development when you
Mm.
put someone's root tint on.
Yeah,
So there's 35 minutes,
yeah,
Sophia will
Do you
let
not
us
find
do what we want with her guidance. So we are allowed to, if we want to work more like fit in an extra haircut or a semi-permanent to make more money, that's our prerogative. And if we want to book out 30 minutes, it's just not the most viable money-wise, because there's only so many hours in the day to actually solidly book out 30 minutes if you are a busy stylist employed.
yeah. And
yeah,
also, do you know what? In the first place that I worked as a Saturday girl, at Weldon Hair, Gary used to actually book out a half an hour break at 1:30 every day for the stylist, and everyone used to shut the shop for half an hour at 1:30. The day was
Like,
planned around it, and
Nice.
we used to sit and eat
but
together.
isn't that
So
a
it
great
can be
team?
done.
That's great team building, isn't it, George? That is fantastic.
Yeah.
All to sit there and come on, we all love the staff room, don't we? That's a great place to hang out with your team, isn't it? And sitting down
It's a
together,
vibe.
or we all sort of sitting there individually in your salon.
We just used to sit in the salon. We all just used to sit in the salon. It used to show at 1:30. The day was planned around it, and every day a junior used to go get the sandwiches or the lunch, and 1:30 we'd all sit down to eat for 30 minutes, and then we'd reopen again at 2:00.
Nice, yeah. You see, sometimes though, and
Good old Gaza.
if I do a Wednesday and it's rammed, I mean, we're talking on a busy day for me. I'm not ashamed to admit, I will go from probably 8:30 through to 8:00, no lunch. Like,
Same.
it's just there's just no lunch there. Actually, it's cool. It's okay. You eat a little bit on the go. It's not great. It's not healthy. I wouldn't want to do that every day. But I find sometimes when you stop, you kind of almost feel, I feel like you've got to get yourself going again. And sometimes if you just kind of run through it.
I've got a
Come
different
on, you
opinion
soft
on
lot.
this.
What's up with her? Get working.
Like, okay, yeah, but here's the thing. It's like people have this opinion, and there's so much pride around not having a lunch break,
Yes, damn
And what I
right.
want to know is, yeah, exactly. And it's not on, Dom, because, like, where is the HR when you need it?
Look,
Where is the time off?
look, that's where it's a wonderful place. But look, we're very much in a world now of well-being, aren't we? I mean, that is top of the agenda for everybody is well-being, and of course, that should be every sort of generation. I guess that there is, Norman. It's like what you say. You have a generation gap that you do tend to find with years becomes this slightly more grafting in life, because I think life maybe starts to just take you in that graft, not because it's right, but I think life just starts to do that to you. And I think when you're starting out, am I making sense here, George? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
It's different strokes for different folks, isn't it? I mean, I associate eating with sitting down and chilling out. So I'm very much on your page here, Dom. If I sit down in the middle of the day to sit and eat, I don't really, maybe it's because I'm like middle aged, I don't really want to get back up again. So I do intermittent fasting throughout the day. I'll then go home and then I'll eat my body weight in chocolate.
I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Everybody, we've got a lot of solo, freelancers here who
Sorry, guys, I am on the workplace employees' rights team, and I am
that
all
is the
here for your
thing,
30 minutes. And
who's
I
an
encourage you
employed-
all to take your lunch breaks.
And I absolutely,
so
like
Claire
I said,
here,
Norman,
Claire
if
says,
somebody employed me, I would take it.
I always plan a 30-minute break for staff and myself. Yes, sometimes we run very, they go so quick, don't they? We run but I always make sure we have 20 minutes buffer time to catch up or take a break later. I think what's important is what's going to come up in the next conversation is headspace. That is and we all know that, don't we, as hairdressers? A little bit of headspace is maybe what we need during the day.
Yeah.
No, you work yourself to the bone.
You do. Okay. Are you all for a lunch? Do you all know? Look, what question should we ask them, Norma? Shall we say, George, do you have a lunch break? Yes or no?
To
Simple.
eat or not to
Yeah.
eat? That is the question.
To eat or not to eat?
To eat or not to eat? And that is definitely the question. So we'll wait for that 20
I feel
second
like
while we're
that's
waiting.
not
Let's
gonna
catch
come
up
out
on
in
some
really
comments.
good
Let's catch up on
chocolate
comments
cake.
here. We've got some good comments coming in, so I want to get them in. I have 45 minutes, but most of the time I don't have the full one. I'm employed, but when I'm self-employed, I never had one. You can see, there you go again, isn't it, Angela? Thank you. Colette, again, I'm about working smart with time. Facebook user, I'm sorry I can't see your name. Not a clue. What is lunch break? You're talking crazy talk here. It's like Norma says, are we almost like, is it this pride that, yeah, come on, I work solid, and maybe that's not the right way forward, is it? But it seems to be the grafter of a
It's
lot of
it's not that, Dom. It's just literally like, you know what?
time
An
is money.
hour is a cut and blow dry, and I ain't fucking losing a cut and blow dry for a sandwich. No
Yeah,
chance.
Ray, I love what I do, but I love to holistic hair vibes. It's the future. It's not good to neglect a team member or ourselves. It's not just about getting food, but it's not just about getting food, but it's time out, essential and best for our mental health too. Yeah, I agree there, Ray.
Yes, babe, I love that.
We did that in my first salon. We closed for 1 hour. What's lunch? Yeah, so okay, Claire, we usually do it in between colours and try not to all be on lunch at the same time. Yeah, yeah. Keep going. Yes, Dom, thank you. It's all snow. I think we've got it. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's, I say a lot of that in jest, to be quite honest. I think the generation are actually getting us right on how we should be working. I think is really, but we just got to cover that into our business plans, haven't we, as salon owners? Ultimately, if it's about we're losing money, then we're not actually got our business model right. That if you're thinking, well,
when I had staff, I did actually go through the books, and I did pre-book a 30-minute in everybody's column every single day.
Yeah.
Now, if
wicked.
they ran over that, that's whatever. That can't be helped. But
Cool. Right.
That.
Lunch. Thank you so much, Norma, for bringing that one up again. Really enjoyable. This
King of lunches.
Absolutely. Yeah, king of lunches. Did you lunch win in America? Anyway, enough on lunches. Let's go to the next topic. Now, this one's going to be my topic, and the reason I'm bringing up small talk versus quiet service, and Angela is in there, and she knows, Angie will know that we don't do small talk, all right? I didn't actually know she was coming in, so it's perfect that she's come in as one of my clients, because as hair professionals, a big part of our job is our clients, the people that we sit there, and it's the experiences and the relationships that we nurture and grow. And the ones that become kind of regulars are great. We kind of know them, we know how to tip. But I find when I get a new client, it feels like a bit of a new date going on. And I find you obviously do the professional stuff, don't we? We have conversation, but then you can't be professional throughout a whole hour, 2 hours. You need to find something out about your client. Is that right? Do you find this kind of opening conversations? Because you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? We're doing this. Then we get to a bit of bus stop conversation. Yeah, and that it's a lovely day. I mean, how many people say when they walk in, the weather is the opening thing, even if it's a bit cold out there today. It's just an opening. I find 37 years later, it really draining. I find conversation becomes harder because I think I want depth to conversation. And do clients find it draining? Do clients just think, I wish they don't talk to me about where I'm going on holiday. A lot of the times, I don't actually care where they're going on holiday. I'm not that invested in their holidays. Sorry.
No, that ain't the truth. Do you know? No, but I mean, don't you think as well that, I mean, if a client doesn't enjoy themselves, or certainly if I am not enjoying myself, then that client wouldn't book back anyway. Or have you just got those clients that just keep on coming back and you think, fucking hell, Sandra, why? Why do you keep coming back to me when we have got nothing?
Do you know what, guys?
To talk about?
I have to object. I actually love going through everyone's. If someone tells me about their holiday, I want to see pictures. I want to see the pool. I want to see everything that all inclusive has to offer. I am the hairdresser. I am the chattiest hairdresser going.
I die of death when somebody says, and they spend 20 minutes looking for a crap photo.
Oh, mate, I get that all the time.
You see a baby.
No, I'm here for it.
And I'm trying to be engaged, and sometimes as a hair professional, right, we are there and we're providing the service and the talk. I like talking about the hair and the professional. I like laughter as well. I mean, again, Ange will know we have some crude conversation, but I love that because it's comfortable. But I just get so tired of that kind of stuff where I just think, like you say, you're looking at their holidays. Am I just old and miserable now that I'm not that, everybody's been to the same place on their travels around the world. I'm not that excited by it anymore.
Oh my God, you guys want to lighten up a little bit. It's a holiday.
No, I can't take it. One thing
You guys want to cheer up.
But look, on a more serious note, who's right? Okay, sorry, I've about lost every client that I now officially do. I only do one day of them now. That's it. They've all gone. I think I'm never going to talk to Dom ever again. I never talked salon talk. Come back. I keep it real and talk about real life stuff. Yeah, I like that. But you can't get to the real life stuff without getting past the boring bit.
Yeah, so our salon, Not Another, offers a silent hair appointment. So it's something that we have marketed ourselves online. So people are aware that if they want to book our silent appointment, all they need to do is just make the request on email or give us a call prior to the booking. You still do your consultation, you still do your home care advice, you still ask about their hair and talk when you feel you need to, but there's just no small talk, when it comes to the actual
great. So
the
you
cutting.
actually offer that as a service then, Norman?
Oh, totally, yeah. And you know what? The most silent haircuts, they book in with me. I do the most silent appointments out of everyone.
But being honest here, Norm, do you feel awkward if there is silence, even if they're booked in? You feel an energy, don't you? When you're working one-to-one with people, we must all feel
No,
this.
I'm actually not that bothered. I'm not that bothered by it. I've kind of got the message. And you know what? People sometimes don't want to talk all the time.
But if a client's feeling awkward.
I can kind of tell. I can tell when somebody doesn't want to speak to me. Do you know what I mean? Like once
you can tell in 2 seconds.
Once you've done the initial, you can tell it in seconds whether people. And also I can't hide. Like if somebody's talking to me and I find it not very engaging and a bit boring, literally my eyes glaze over and I'm like, sorry, what did you say? I'm like really bad.
Sorry, can you stop that conversation? It's really boring.
Yeah.
How much do you go into?
Sorry, I can't get you back in for 6 months. End off.
So that conversation, how into the professional side of the conversation are you with your clients? Talking actually hair?
No, I like talking. My real ride or die regulars will talk about everything. My more professional clients, I'll kind of see what they want to talk a little bit. I think George had a really good point. The whole conversation comes down to gauging the energy. You will find out in very small time whether someone wants to talk or not. Or you're just that annoying hairdresser that doesn't stop talking. But I love those ones. I do love that. Maybe I am one of those.
But do you not find when you've 5 hours of conversation? If you stood anywhere?
Okay, I've got
5 hours of conversation.
Dom, I actually have got a tip for you.
Please give me it. I need that tip, Norman.
I've got a tip for you guys. So I have actually said to one of my dear regulars before, maybe once or twice, really sorry, lovely. I'm just getting over a really sore throat, so I'm going to keep the chat small today. And they go, oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better soon. And that is my get out of jail free card. And then I get to just take it easy.
Yeah, because sometimes
I also do that, but I say I'm really sorry if I don't talk to you during this colour application. You have got there is a lot of work to do, and I've really got to get my head down and do it. And then once I've got a bit more free time, I will pick up the chat. But I always joke with my clients, and I always say that when you come for consultation, it's not whether I'm actually vetting you to see whether I want to do your hair. It's the other way around.
So what we got coming, let me go back on some of the comments here because we like that. So Jack's just put, I want a silent appointment from the client sometimes. Absolutely. Can you request that on client's booking as a hairdresser? So I'm going to request a hairdresser quiet moment. So you won't be able to talk to me for an hour. Claire, we implemented the quiet time choice a while ago. We actually have clients who come to us for this reason. And actually, sometimes if I'm doing a particular technique or need to focus, I actually just say to them, I just need to concentrate a second. I remember when I interviewed Lee Stafford years ago, and he always used to talk about, you learn the art, don't you, of concentration and conversation. And yeah, I joke apart, I'm a master of conversation, believe it, and Andrew, I could talk every kind of topic you want. But I think what my point is, I'm probably of an age now where I want a bit of depth to where we go with conversations. I think depth and understanding people, and it's a true honour to let people open up. And I think each and every one of us, that's probably the biggest honour that we have, is actually what people do talk to us about. Like, seriously, they have that faith and that honest and that trust to be able to share things to us that probably they won't share to anybody else.
And that's a very special thing, isn't it?
It's hugely special. I think that's what I love. I think I just find the repetitive question of when's the co-op opening? You know, we have a co-op just being built around the corner to us, and I've been answering that question for nearly 9 years, and thankfully it opened up last Saturday, so no more. Now they're asking me, what's the co-op going to become at the top? So I'm going to get asked that for the next 2 years. But Lee Stafford always said, you know, as a hairdresser, you've got to learn to sort of do hair and it's like playing the guitar and singing at the same time. And I thought that sort of said it all, really, isn't it? It's the same thing.
That's so true.
What's this? Sorry, is this you, Emma? It's science.co.uk. What's that?
This?
No, maybe it's just like brain science, I think.
That's it, right. Rosalind, I tried to find something common, i.e. music, movies. Yeah, I think a love of food. Yeah. Sorry, I'm way back. I think you can definitely tell if they want to talk, for sure. This one here, is this Emma? I have a silent client. It used to really bother me until considered it might be worse for her if I made her chat. Yes, I know that there are lots of people that won't visit a salon because they have a lot of that social anxiety. That's a very common anxiety for people, isn't it? Social anxiety.
Yeah.
So therefore, going into a place that's full of high energy and you will know for this, not another salon, you're all inclusive. But would somebody feel comfortable going in there, Norman? You know, it's youthful and it's high energy. Does that make those people who suffer social anxiety, who struggle with conversation, but feel maybe...
Listen, we try our best, to get the message out there. We try our best to get the message out that we are welcoming to anyone. We have a welcome pack. So the minute that someone sits down, they're given a little laminated booklet, and it literally says about the silent option as well. So yes, we might have that loud exterior, but we're always constantly reminding our clients that if there's a way that we can tailor this service to you, then you just got to let us know. If I had social anxiety, which I do sometimes get, and I went somewhere and it gave me the option of like having no talking and just getting on with it, I would really appreciate that. So I know it's loud exterior, not another salon, but we're trying our best to make them as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, cool. Right, okay, well, cool. To chat or not to chat is the thing. So look, we're going to come on to the last topic.
Answer.
Chat, George? Are you a chatter or a more...
I'm a chatter, yes. If you want to
think about
it. Yeah, you are.
I will cater the service to you.
See, I'm a chatter. I am a chatter, believe it or not, but I'm just not very tolerant.
But no holidays.
Honestly, balls the pants off me.
And I don't give a fuck about the weather.
No, it's...
I don't give a fuck about the weather.
Tony, I think Tony's not here tonight, so that's okay. But we're past... we've just come at to 9 o'clock. Then you can do whatever you like. I feel like the BBC won't be okay like that. Cool. What's this? Definitely we have a lot of... Just read this before we go on. Definitely we have a lot of clients who open up to us with their holistic elements and asking how they feel. It's good to cater for both, for sure. I know you do a lot of that good stuff, Claire. Right. Okay. Last topic. All right. So we want you to put some topics in the comments. You got around about sort of 20, 30 seconds delay. What are we going to talk about? So come on. You know, we're bringing the topics to you.
Give us a belter. Give us a belter.
Bring us a topic. We're going to pick our favourite. And if you don't, I have one up our sleeve. But they may put it in the comments.
Don't say that.
Okay. All right. No, we won't. Okay. Right. Here we go. So time to come up with your topic. Okay. So we have one topic. So
the last topic.
Dogs in salon, yes or no? Okay. Anybody else going to be brave enough to put a topic in the comments? All right. So we're going to give you a few. I quite like that one as well. So is anybody else going to put it in? Or
the answer is yes.
We just got to do all the work for you? Come on. This is your show. Put a topic in the comments. Come on.
Come on, guys, get up off your lunch break.
Yeah, Jack's coming. Here we go. Here we go. I'm not doing kids anymore. Good or bad? Now I like that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Where am I going? Actually, I've not got any holidays booked, Colette. Honestly, you're cheeky.
Holiday.
Yeah, okay. So anybody else? Thank you, Jax. Colette. Anybody else? I know I see about 24 eyes still on the show, so come on. I know you're watching it. Don't sit there being, right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Right, we'll go with that one. Thank you, Jax.
Okay.
I'm not doing kids anymore. Good or bad, George?
I mean, I've got an allocated time for children in my salon, so I offer a quiet session, funnily enough,
Can't
for
blame
kids
you.
on the spectrum, but also for kids that hate haircuts or kids on the spectrum. I do that the first Sunday of every month. Personally, you know, my colour work is quite expensive, my cutting's quite expensive, so I do not need other clients at the salon that are experienced that to have a screaming child. So no, children are generally, unless they're going to sit there and be silent, not welcome in my salon unless it's the first Sunday of every month where I pre-book out for that.
I've got an idea, by the way. We're going to quick fire. So some of these questions, we'll put them all in rather than one topic. I've just suddenly thought that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, get that. Norman, kids or not?
Hell no. I have only cut a kid's hair once in my career. I'm happy to do a haircut if they're happy to pay the adults pricing. I don't really attract kids' haircuts. It's just not really my vibe.
Why should we be doing children's hair cheaper?
It's actually harder work.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, why? Because, you know, someone comes in. Again, that's a terrible thing with our industry. Because they're of a certain age, we can't charge a lot. Well, if it takes half hour an hour, surely it's just consistent, isn't it? All the way through.
I charge exactly the same. So I charge children. If a child has a cut and blow, it's my cut and blow price. If it's a lad's cut, it's the same as a gent's cut. If it's a dry cut, it's the same as a dry cut. I do not differ on price.
Right, okay, and we'll go with Colette's one. I've just got to get, dogs in salon, yes or no?
She's desperate for that, isn't she?
Dogs in salon, George.
I'd love a dog in salon, but Dave says I can't have a dog, or he'll kick it out. He won't let me have any pets apart from the fish that you sometimes see in the background. So I would love a dog. I don't have one.
Okay, so Norman, do you have dogs in your salon?
Yes, we do. We've got my beautiful baby girl, Luna, who has absolutely changed my life. She's my best friend, who's also my colleague's. Connor's dog, beautiful little blonde miniature dachshund, and she is a therapy dog, and I hold her in my arms and I rock her like a baby, and she just has brightened the salon up.
What about when they're yapping? Surely when clients are relaxing and you've got a
yeah,
dog
she
yapping,
does.
That can't be great.
I know.
Salon experience.
To be honest, she only cries.
A lot of people love dogs.
A lot of people don't love dogs.
Yeah, that is a thing. Like, someone has actually said they're scared of her when she's already gone over there. So now we just say, how do you feel about dogs? Because she's downstairs, tucked away from everyone, with her dad. She's very, very well behaved. Like, she's not running around about the shop. I mean, she does sometimes, but it's cute. But she's not, like, crying or barking, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I always think, like I say, I have 2 dogs. So Mrs. Lehane would not be happy for me to say no dogs in a salon. But personally, I don't think dogs should be in a salon. Because then I have to talk about dogs.
I disagree.
I don't want to talk about dogs either.
No, I don't know.
Do you want to get?
Personally, I'd like one of those. What are those cats with no fur that look like they're?
Oh, they're
Yeah,
horrible
the
looking.
Sphinx.
Look
The
like my
Sphinx.
head.
I would love to have a Sphinx cat in my salon. That's the dream. That's the dream.
I think we're still on kids. I'm getting. Do you know Craig? Craig, sorry, I've surname's completely Henderson. Craig does a lot of work with children on the spectrum, and he does an incredible job with that. I don't know how Craig does it, but he has a passion for it. And like I say, I think sometimes we have to understand children that are maybe going through ADHD. It's a very threatening experience, but we can't put that onto all children. There are just lots of children that are downright spoiled. And you've got a parent sat there going,
but there's a lot of children.
No, darling, sit still. No, darling, with their dog to the side whilst talking to me about a holiday. Again, every day, I'm serious. I'm only playing on it. Okay, was there any? I did see one more. Local councils don't like it, Colette. Is that with the dogs? I'm so back on the comments. What's this, Paul? Paul's a good friend of mine. It became a thing. Dogs in a salon. I agree with Dom, although I love dogs, and I must add, I love. I wouldn't say I love dogs. I'm fond of dogs and their cuteness. But people love talking about dogs, don't they? That's dog conversation. There's another conversation that.
I think you need a list of conversations that you're allowed to have with your clients.
I could. Anybody starts talking to me about dogs like the children, it's just like, I don't get it.
Yeah. But a lot of people do love dogs.
Absolutely. And I like dogs. People love dogs more than they've ever loved dogs now, don't they? Anyway, was there any other conversations in? I'll have all the dog lovers on my case now. My salon is small. I ban them. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that children
what children
dogs, Jax? Or is it both?
That's funny.
I think this is all about children.
Yeah, sorry, one more. Phil, hiya, Phil. Wet cuts, should they be on the price list? Yeah, because we spoke about dry cuts, didn't we? Wet cuts on the price list, Norman?
We don't do a dry cut. It's always a cut and finish.
Why?
But yeah, it's on the price list. Why don't we do a dry cut? Because we want to see it start to finish, I guess. I don't know. I didn't make it up.
Well, George actually brought that to the show when you were away, actually, the dry cuts. So, but do you do wet cuts as well, George, where you can just cut them and then off they go?
No, I don't, because I would like to. So with the dry cut, I offer dry cut because then obviously I can personalise it through where I need to. But with a wet cut, I couldn't do that. So you couldn't actually cut a shag cut wet without, or a heavily layered haircut, or a mullet wet, and then just leave them to walk away without that little bit of.
But then surely it's good business if you do a wet cut and somebody only wants the ends off, but they just want the overall experience.
Sorry, guys. I actually didn't even realise.
Some people don't like the way a hairdresser dries their hair.
Yeah,
so why should
Do you know what?
Sorry,
I didn't even realise.
If it was a one length wet, one length, or a layered, just a long layer, yes, I would do it.
It's got to be good. It saves you a blow dry, doesn't
We
it?
don't even offer that. It's got to be a cut and blow dry service. We don't offer where you just have it cut wet and then leave with it. It's company policy, we have to have the hair dried. Even if you don't like the way the hair's dried, we can recreate the effect of having it rough dried with a dryer. We don't want to send anyone out with wet hair.
Have I gone all a bit funny? Hang on, can you hear me?
A little.
Yeah,
no,
but you are stagnant.
it's a good look. Let me just, yeah. Right, am I back
Really
again?
captures you sometimes.
Yeah, Dom
No.
obviously,
Tonight the
Dom
gremlins
obviously even
have kicked
thought
in. I
about.
think we
Look at
now
that
have
one.
Houston. We have an
Wait,
issue.
I was going to
It's telling me
say,
I'm offline.
Dom,
So hang on, 1 second, one
Dom's
second.
wondering about where his next holiday is. Maybe.
I can see. Yeah, Wi-Fi has suddenly gone. Can you hear me at all? Can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Right. Why is
Yes, we
it
can
doing
hear
that?
you. Yeah.
Right. Tonight it is clearly a problem.
Not
Maybe
our
it's
end,
maybe it is my
anyway.
Wi-Fi. That is a good look, isn't it? Please capture a screenshot of that. What a
You look so
fine beast of a man that
serious.
is. I could just do right. Well, I think to be fair, the night's gone on. It's been a bit of a Wi-Fi glitchy night. I think I might have to take a look at things this end because it doesn't look like.
Yeah, Dom, it's all your fault.
Yeah, I'll take the blame. Hey, right, okay. Let's move
Maybe you're
on
the
to
problem.
Nubby. No, I'm still brilliant. It's definitely not happening. I'm very, very sorry, everybody. You'll just have to bin us off. I think after all these shows that we've done, I think this is the first time I've ever had a real glitchy. Yes, so I'm just sticking 2 fingers up and everything and doing that. Look, I think we're going to have to end the show. Norman, George, it's been absolutely wonderful hanging out with you both. And I apologise, everybody, we've had glitches, technical issues, but none of you are paying for it. So, hey, you'll have to put up with that tonight. That's part of it. And if we had a sponsor, I'd have to be apologising to a sponsor.
And
So.
please feel free to leave 10% service charge for what we've done.
Yeah, true. Tip us.
Yeah, right. Well, look, we're going to have to. I'm going to say goodbye to you both. I'm just going to put a screen freeze on me, I'll say goodbye. George, Norman, it's been absolutely wonderful. We've had a lot of laughter.
Bye, guys.
All right, so
I've had the best
to
time.
this one's going to be great. Look at that. Yes, I am still here. I can talk without moving my mouth or eyes and just remain perfectly still. So I just would like to say to you all, thank you so much for tuning in. Please have a screenshot of that. We apologise for any glitches that have come in, but hey ho, we'll have to run with it. Look, thank you so much. It's been great. And we look forward to seeing you all next time. And we'll have this Wi-Fi sorted out in 2 weeks' time. We're sticking to Mondays. So until next time, peace, love, and smiles all the way. Goodbye.